Welcome back to this edition of On Every Front, showcasing our citizen soldiers and airmen as they answer our nation's call to duty. I'm your host, Army National Guard Staff Sergeant Adam Fishman. Happy 2014 to all of our Guardsmen, families, and their friends. As the Guard embarks on a new year, many questions lie ahead. General Frank J. Grass, Chief of the National Guard Bureau, spoke at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., giving us a preview into the strategy and direction our force will take to move forward during fiscal constraints and uncertainty.
What we need is whatever the Air Force and the Army need in their reserve. Because our first mission, and our two missions are equal, is our mission to support the Federal Reserve of the Air Force, the United States Air Force, and the United States Army. So however the Army looks or however the Air Force looks, we've got to be interchangeable. We'll never be identical to them. We're not going to be and not try to be. And they will never be identical to us because of that homeland mission where we roll out the gate. But we've got to be complementary of each other so that when the Air Force needs additional capability in the fighter jets, or whether it's a support skill set, or the Army needs additional brigades, that we've got to be ready to move. That means being organized, trained, and equipped the same. And I can honestly tell you today, our readiness is higher than it's ever been in the Army and Air National Guard. And we are organized, trained, and equipped at a level higher than I've ever seen it in my 44 years of service. That's because of a lot of great investment by the nation throughout the war. For 377 years now, we've been rolling out of the gates of our armories whenever the governors call. In some cases, even before the governors call. And just in the last 16 months since I've been here, Hurricane Sandy was the first event. 12,000 guardsmen rolled out the gate out of 22 states total. Some states rolled in to help New York, New Jersey, and West Virginia that was having a snow event during Sandy. And it was seamless. Within 72 hours, any Air National Guard unit can deploy today. And they've got to be ready to deploy. That's overseas. But if you look at the homeland, we have 40 fighters and 7 tankers sitting on alert right now that if something happens over the skies of the United States, there's pilots in jets, there's ground crews getting those jets up in the skies, 6 minutes, they're over the skies of the United States. 24/7, we've been doing that as a part of the North American Aerospace Defense Command mission. I just visited during the Colorado floods. We had a mix of active helicopters plugged into the Colorado Guard, working with them, and the Wyoming Guard came in. I think we had 23 Chinooks and Black Hawk combinations at the peak, pulling people off the side of the mountains. And I went back later, which you probably didn't see on the news, is after the floods went down, 4 states rolled in with National Guard out of the Air and Army, and they were engineers, and they reopened the road in record time between Lyons, Colorado, up to Estes Park. Being a member of the Joint Chiefs, I have access now to organizations that I probably never would have had as a 3-star and as just a chief and not a member of the Joint Chiefs. I get called in to all the sessions as a member of the Joint Chiefs. During Boston bombings, I was called in immediately to sit with the Undersecretary of Defense and talk about what the Guard was doing in Boston. Well, I already had information from the Adjutant General at that point that he had 450 troops in the city at the start of the event. They were there for security for the marathon. Immediately, the governor said, I'm going to authorize you over 1,000. Put them in the streets now.
As a premier fighting force, the National Guard continues to be the most ready and cost-effective strategy during today's budget constraints. Sustaining our force ensures national security for all our citizens. Today's Minuteman, always ready, always there. From National Guard Bureau Headquarters, thank you for watching this edition of On Every Front.